So you see, people, when I go to these therapy sessions, I'm going for you, basically. Why am I going for you? Well, because many of you will be too afraid to go. Many of you will be too afraid to say the things I say. Many of you are not articulate enough to say the things I say. But what I'm saying, I'm speaking about my humanisms. And I'm speaking about certain things which are particular to me. And they won't be particular to you. But you'll get a general theme, and you'll get something which is interesting and beneficial, which comes out of these therapy sessions. Now, what I would say to you guys that I wouldn't get down to too much armchair analysis with what you see in these sessions, because there's many things that don't meet the eye, and I can't tell you certain things about what I'm doing. You'll have to read between the lines if you're smart enough. But I've spoken about these things, and so some of you will have an idea. There's certain criteria that I require, and like all things, there's always elements of truth in everything. There's always an enlargement of the truth in anything. There's always a diminishing of the truth in anything. You will never ever get what anyone will consider to be true, because there is no truth, people. There's only perception. And so I will speak to you about the facet which is benefiting you, potentially. And that are these psychological humanisms. And so, because this therapist is trained in family systems, looking at parts, characters, energies, personas, angels and demons. That's what she's looking for, but she doesn't know about most of these things. She only knows about the parts. She doesn't know about egregores. She doesn't know about alter personalities very much, I don't think. Maybe broadly the same as the next man. She doesn't know about how spirits come along and participate in this human experience. She just thinks there's things to do with our past which have been unresolved. And I even wonder how much of Freud she's read. And I get the impression that she didn't know anything about Carl Jung. And so I am astounded as to how people think they can be psychologists without being absolutely versed in Jung and Freud and Adler and Peirce and Rogers and anyone that was deemed to be great 100 years ago when psychoanalysis was founded. Anyway, the mind boggles, and she's got her particular training and she's looking for a certain something, so I'm going to be helping her looking for whatever she's looking for. And I'm going to be asking her to tell me what she's looking for, because by this time now she realises that I'm bright enough to be able to help her if she tells me. And I want her to tell me her way. But I know already what she's looking for, and I'm giving her what she's looking for, and she's starting to enjoy it. And so this week when I give her Supercilious, because supercilious she can really work with, because supercilious is um, the cornerstone of why I am like I am now. And that's kind of like on my ivory tower, in my cave, in reclusion, because what I've done over these 16 years, probably all my life to be fair people, all my life I think I've done it, but more profoundly over this past 16 years when I've been in my reclusion, I've learned such an enormous amount of stuff, and I've experienced such an enormous amount of stuff, and I've realised such an enormous amount of stuff, and I've found myself in an extended state of consciousness which very, very few people dwell within. And this is why I'm starting to toy around with autism, because I tick lots of the boxes on autism. I tick a few of the boxes with narcissism. I tick a few of the boxes with OCD, with ADHD. I'm a very complex individual, and some of those things could be deemed to be a detriment to me. But it depends which way you look at it. For instance, I said to the therapist, the reason why I want therapy is because I want you to help me to emancipate myself from my cave. Now, I can emancipate myself from my cave anytime I want to. But like she said to me, well, it's a case of whether you want to, Aaron. And she asks me to ask Spirit, this entity which gives me bliss in my solitude, is Spirit going to be happy with me, with you, if you're trying to escape the parameters of what it has to offer you? And I'm like, that's a very good question. And I don't know until I do it. But what I do know is there are enormous reservations. But I don't really know what the implications would be if I did set myself free. You see, because I live in bliss. I'm always telling you I'm living in bliss. I'm not talking bullshit, people. Every single day I'm in bliss. I wake up in bliss, I go to bed in bliss, and all through every single day I'm doing exactly what I want to do, and it's bliss. And one of the things I do is do my music and learn to sing and play guitar, play music. It's so powerful to me. It's so amazing, and I'm so desirous and determined to do it. How could I ever do that if I had to work 8 or 10 hours a day? How could I go to the gym anytime I felt like it and spend as much time as I wanted to just looking at trees and just touching trees and just admiring the beautiful cosmic God consciousness all around me? Why would I want to change that? That's the question, isn't it? I get paid enough for me to be able to do it for the rest of my life. Why would I want to change this? I don't know. The reason why I don't know, people, is because I don't know what the potential is out there for me. I'm kind of like toying around with being a motivational speaker, a spiritual speaker, a speaker in general, because I speak about so much stuff. And if I had the right market, I'm pretty sure that I'd be quite happy, because I would be getting the remuneration. I'd be getting that. And I don't know what I'd do with that. But I would be getting lots of things from people that I'm not currently getting. And I don't know what I'd do with that. You see, I put myself in my cave because I didn't want any of that. I grew tired of it all. I didn't need the money, I didn't need the people, I didn't need the attention, I didn't need the company, I didn't need any of it. I'm absolutely like a pig in shit. And so my therapist, she can see that. And she's asking, so we're not wasting each other's time. Do you really want that? If you are living in bliss, if you do hate the Muggles and society and all that it stands for, why would you want to change that? I remember Muhammad Ali saying, when the press was asking him, why does he want to go for another shot at the world title? And this time he was going against Larry Holmes, the undefeated world champion. And Larry Holmes retired having 49 defences against his world title. 49 defences. I think Rocky Marciano only equaled it. I think they both hold the same amount. And Larry Holmes was one of Muhammad Ali's younger sparring partners, and so they both knew very, very well how each other thought. But Larry Holmes at the time was about 10 years younger. Ali was over the hill, and people were saying, why do you want to do it? And he said, because it's there. Why do people go to the moon? Because it's there. And I'm like, well, I don't know what else is there. There's something else there. And I kind of like I can feel myself in another life. I can't envision myself living in this apartment, which apparently I can have for the rest of my life. But I can't see that. And I can't see myself walking around the same little rat runs with my rucksack on my back, with a carrier bag slung over my shoulder. I can't see myself doing that for the next 30 years because I'm scheduled to live till 93, and that's when I'm bailing out. That's when I would have had enough. So within this next 30 years, it's a lifetime for most people, and I'm thinking, well, I could live another life, and so why not? And why don't I go out into the world now and see if it really is as dull as I've been proclaiming it to be, or if I was pleasantly surprised. And I'm positive that if I went out like I do every day, and I'm super positive and chatty and amiable, and everybody loves the Awake and Brave, everybody loves Aaron because he's such a great guy. That's the true me. This supercilious is the false me. And I'm just introducing my therapist to that character, and she's very intrigued. I created this character a long, long, long time ago. And I think he has run his course. I think I'm ready to let him go. Even if I never leave my cave again. I don't need to be haughty anymore. I don't need to put people down. I don't need to deploy these varieties of tactics just because I feel I can, because I'm confident and bolshy and arrogant enough to do it. I just need a change of course. And, you know, lots of the reasons why I do this is because I don't get any response from any of you. I can do whatever I want to. I can say whatever I want to you guys. As long as I'm not contravening YouTube's fucking policies, I can say whatever I want to. It doesn't matter how demeaning. How Jesus sucks my cock in the astral. And Jesus is my batty boy, and I give it to him good time. And then I slap his ass and tell him, hey, next time, bro. I can say all these ridiculous, preposterous things just because I can. I'm in character. I'm just endeavouring to see if I can rattle people's cages. Because if they believe in all this stuff and they're offended, well, I tell them they're idiots. Because why would they be offended about a fantasy and a fiction that is just a vision in their minds? Jesus raising the dead and Son of God and born of immaculate fucking conception, and goodness me, one fucking fantasy miracle after another. It's just so bizarre, so so fantastic. Just these fantastic fantasies, they're so fantastic that they just seem to get away with being outside of any realm of fantasy. And it's like Elon Musk says about his fucking SpaceX car. It looks so fake, it has to be true. Well, I think that's what people think about Jesus and the stories of the Bible and shit like that. It sounds so fucking fake, it's got to be true. It's one of the cosmos's myriad of paradoxes again, isn't it? How do so many people believe in such outlandish nonsense, completely and utterly unfounded? How is it so? How is it so, people? So I've had a go at all these people. There's been very, very few people, if anyone, that I've missed. I've had a go at everybody throughout these 16 years. And, okay, so I've done that. And I've got 250 views. I'm like, well, there's either something wrong with my method, or I'm being ghosted, or I'm in the wrong market. Maybe this market is just minuscule. The things I'm talking about, of course, barely a single person on the planet is with me in my level of consciousness. And I'd be absolutely ecstatic if any of you guys can come and talk to me and tell me all about these wonderful things that I've had, that you've had. I'd absolutely welcome that. And then I go, well, fuck me. That means like there's at least 2 gods on this planet, you and me. Let's find the rest. Let's find the fucking rest now. There's probably others. If there's 2, there's probably others. But if there's no others, if there's only me, then I can be forgiven for falling inside my own solipsism. Can't I? If I can't find anyone to match me intellectually, spiritually, metaphysically, experientially, if I can't find anyone to do that, if I can't find plenty of people, if I can't set up venues and have at least 100 people at the audience go, yeah, I fucking astral project all the time, I fucking have them sucking my fucking dick, and yeah, Jesus is my batty boy, and fucking, you know, this and the other. Well, there must be some. There must be some. So I often speak about this movie, The Highlander, how this Highlander guy, he came to find the others. And that's, I swear, what I'm here for. I came to find the others. Where are they? Where are they? I've only ever had shadows. I've only ever had very, very mediocre semblances of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something which is vast, people. I'm looking for something which is vast. And I don't know whether that's a blessing or a curse. To find someone that can match me with what I've experienced, with what I hypothesize, with what I intuit. Every now and again, I will see somebody, and these people are famous as. They're fucking PhD'd and they're fucking super gurus and they're world renowned and everything. And they are saying a little bit of what I say. And I'm like, wow. I often speak to this friend of mine, Mrs. Y. And I'm saying, look, there's this guy, and I forget his name. He's the one who created the CPU unit. And so he's very smart. And he is saying to people, he's saying, look, this is the message for all scientists. Scientists, for goodness sakes, you have to start incorporating intuition and consciousness into your equations. Otherwise, you're never, ever going to get this thing. Because this thing is conscious. And the language of God is intuition. It isn't in your math. Because the only thing they get out of their math is more equations. They're all hypotheses and theories. This theory, Einstein's theory of evolution, The biggest theory on the fucking planet, E equals MC squared. Only a fucking theory, people. And Mikhail Kaku is always saying, we physicists think. And he will openly opine that he doesn't fucking know, nobody knows, they're only ever theories. And I just recently watched one of his videos, and it was about this quantum computer phenomenon. How NASA's received a message from deep out into fucking space, and it's fucking freaked the whole fucking lot of them out. They're completely freaked out by what they received, because it's counterintuitive to whatever programs that they have lived with all their lives, because it's going to entail other tools. It's going to entail like psychic ability, like deep intuition, like channelers, or some sort of savants or something like that. It's going to necessitate very, very special people. This is why we get movies, people. Like there's one movie I watched in recent time. What was it called? I don't know, fucking hell. I don't know what it's called. It's about aliens coming down to Earth. It's on Netflix, so it's there now. These aliens were leaving these little black polished pebble stones every time they went somewhere. And they were looking for certain children. And the certain children they wanted to take away from the Earth, because the Earth was going to have a coronal mass ejection. And the sun was going to envelop the Earth. And everyone was going to be killed. So the aliens came because they knew this, and they gathered up several thousand children. Only the very, very special ones who could see them and hear them. They could hear them speaking to them all the time because they had special powers. And so, you know, we get told this in a myriad of different ways in all these movies. And so there are people out there that really know how this thing works. But the average person in the street, it really is, you know, they are potatoes. They are so closed down. They are so under hypnosis. And I'm not saying that many people possibly wouldn't wake up overnight if they had a supernatural experience or a big psychedelic experience, something like that. But, you know, the whole thing about this waking up process, it invariably entails some magnitude of massive shift in consciousness, which usually comes about inadvertently via trauma. And so if we listen to people who have suffered great traumas, then that's those that then go into the dark night of the soul. They start searching, they get in touch with spirit, and then everything changes. And that's what happened to me. And it appears that I was always destined to do it. Always destined to do it. It wasn't something that just came about and now, oh, how lucky or how cursed I am. It was always meant to be. Because looking back, I can see that I was always this variety of person. That, well, I mean, I used to travel the world on my own. Never alone for a single second. Never lonely for a millisecond. Always knew that something was walking with me. Always knew that I was protected, didn't matter what I did. And that notion is just getting more and more pronounced and more powerful the older I get. And so I feel that there's something moving me, calling me, drawing me, and I know what it is. But I can't exactly picture where it is, or specifically what it is. But there's a higher calling. I'm called to go into a higher level of duty. And so that's what I'm working towards. And this stuff, it takes a long time, because I was going through this whole therapy application years ago, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. I was waiting for therapy for 3 years. Those original appointments with the psychiatrists that I put up recently, they were in April and May 2022, people. That's 3 years ago. I was on the waiting list. But it didn't matter because in the interim, I had incredible experiences. And one of those years I spent in an American fucking penal, well, in the American penal system, in 7 different fucking holding centers. 7. Powerful number, people. It was a powerful experience on a whole bunch of levels. I was blessed, absolutely blessed to have had that experience. And so, whatever happens, it's going to be a blessing. And I'm just open and willing. And so, I'm talking to myself. We are talking to ourselves. We are negotiating how is it going to be. Because supercilious has to be set aside now. Because supercilious was fun. And he served his purpose, keeping me in my cave, keeping me isolated, keeping the potential of people wanting to contact me, be my friend, and all these different sorts of things. I wasn't able to deal with that. I wasn't ready for it. Now, I'm being much more open. And I'm working towards great changes. And so when I put these videos up, I'm just showing you how this thing works. Those of you that have watched lots of my videos and are smart enough to grasp and put the pieces together, you will see something beautiful manifesting. And within a year or 2 years, who knows? This therapy could go on for another year. I've got at least 15 hours left, and I could have the option probably of another 15 hours after that. And so it just is what it is. It's going to run its course. There's no hurry. The cosmos has got it all worked out. And so I'm just going with the flow. And I'm documenting everything. And when I've documented everything and it's all come together, there'll be another book there. I could write so many books. I could write so many books, people. But at this moment in time, I'm not called to by the cosmos. The cosmos called me to write Closer to God, A Journey to the Self. 8 months solid, 5 hours a day that book took. But I know there's other books there. They're all waiting. When Spirit wants me to write them, it will help me write them. Spirit's been instrumental in delivering every single book I've read so far. Every person I've met, every video I've watched. Spirit has been feeding me. And so, I'm as excited as anybody as to see what happens. And this is the perfect time. This is the time when people are really going to need help. Because the world is heading for a very curious place. And if there's someone that's got some insight, some stability, someone that can offer something which can ease the transition to people, then that person's going to be very useful. And I believe I'm one of them.